Okay, welcome to our last set of notes for Unit 2. This is the set of notes where we finally put it all together. The purpose of these notes is to be able to calculate the net pay per pay period. What that means is calculate how much money you're actually taking home in your paycheck. What we've been talking about so far in this unit is how much money you're paying in taxes, how much money in taxes comes out of your paycheck. Now, that money that comes out of your paycheck, well, we spent the whole first unit talking about your gross pay. In other words, how much the employer is paying you per week. Before that money gets to you, though, some of that money is taken out in the form of taxes. So today what we're going to do is we're going to focus on figuring out how much money is taken out in taxes and figure out how much money you actually receive, how much money you can actually spend or put in your bank account. Okay? Again, the vocabulary term you need to know here is net pay or take-home pay. It's the amount of money you actually receive in your paycheck after deductions, essentially after taxes and anything else is taken out. The formula for calculating your net pay is taking the gross pay, okay, what we spent all Unit 1 calculating, and subtracting the total deductions. So gross pay is how much you make before taxes, net pay is how much you make after we take out those taxes. Let's just get right into it. Alicia Moore's gross weekly salary is $600. She is married and claims 3 allowances. The Social Security tax is 6.2%. The Medicare tax is 1.45%. The state tax is 1.5%. Each week, she pays $12.40 for medical insurance and $2.50 for charity. Fill in her earnings statement below. The earnings statement is this, and we use this to help us figure out the net pay. You'll notice it looks kind of like a paycheck or a pay stub. The idea here is we're going to practice not just reading a pay stub, that's what we did in the last video, but actually filling one out so that you can see where these numbers come from. The first thing I would do is fill in anything that you automatically know. It tells us that her gross weekly salary is $600, so I'm going to write that in gross pay. You'll notice for the earnings statement, we have her name, we have the check number. I'm not really sure what department means. But then we have some other categories for gross pay, which we just filled in, net pay, which is ultimately what we're trying to find, how much money she actually takes home. And then we have tax and other deductions, FIT, federal income tax, FICA, which basically means Social Security on this table, Medicare, state, local, medical, union dues, and others. Okay, so the titles of these are very important. It's important not to get them mixed up. Any other numbers that we know? Okay, so it says she's married and claims 3 allowances. I don't really see a place to put that in here right now, so I'm going to leave that. Social Security tax is 6.2%. You might be tempted to just write 6.2 here, but that's 6.2%. Every number that goes in one of these spaces should be a dollar amount. So we're going to use that 6.2%. We don't write it in here. Same thing with Medicare, okay? We're going to use that to figure out how much she pays. We're not going to write the percentage there. Same thing for state. Each week she pays $12.40 for medical insurance. That can get written in here. Don't write it in Medicare. This is for medical insurance specifically. $12.40 and $2.50 for charity. So we've actually got some things filled in without having to do any math. Now we're going to see what we can do to fill out the other blank spaces. In other words, we got to find the rest of these tax deductions if they exist. Federal withholding, that's the first one. That's the same thing as federal income tax or FIT. How did we determine FIT? We used this chart. Okay, remember this chart, you should have a copy of this, and if you don't, there's one online. It says that Alicia is she's married, so we're going to go to the married column, and she claims 3 allowances. So we're going to go to the married page. We know she claims 3 allowances, so we're going to go to the 3 column, and then we're going to go down. She makes $600 per week. So we're going to go down to the column that has at least 600, but less than 610, right here. Now I'm going to use another sheet of paper to go over and make sure that we have the right number. So we have 600 to 610. Okay. We go over to 3 and go down. She pays $22 in federal income tax. So I'm going to write that in here. FIT is $22. Now we get to some where we actually have to make some calculations, okay? So we've already done the married and 3 allowances part. Social Security is 6.2% of 600. Remember, in order to do that, to get 6.2% of 600, we do 6.2, divide that by 100, we get 0.062, and then we multiply by 600. And we should get that that Alicia is paying $37.20 for Social Security tax based on her income for the week. Medicare is 1.45% of 600. So we do 1.45 divided by 100 times 600. Medicare is $8.70. The state tax is 1.5% of 600, so 1.5 divided by 100 times 600 is $9. So that's Social Security, Medicare, and state tax. It didn't say anything about local tax anywhere in here, so I'm just going to put an X through this. Okay? You can either put an X or you can write 0. It also didn't say anything about union dues anywhere in here, so I'm going to put an X through that. And we already talked about the medical insurance, $12.40, and we talked about charity, $2.50. The total deductions is just the sum of everything in this lower row. So that's $22 plus $37.20 plus $8.70 plus $9 plus $12.40 plus $2.50. That comes out to $91.80 in total deductions. Sorry, just fixing something on my paper. To find the net pay, we take the gross pay of $600 and subtract the total deductions. The gross pay was $600 minus the total deductions of $91.80. The net pay is $508.20. And we write that in this last column. So this last box. So this is the last thing you fill in. That's the point of the entire problem, is to get the correct net pay. And it is kind of tricky because there's a lot of things you have to do. There's a lot of ways that you could make like a slight miscalculation. But nothing we did here is anything different than we've done in the whole rest of the unit. Okay? We've used a table to find federal income tax. Sometimes it'll just tell you the federal income tax, but we can use a table to find that. We can use a table, or we can use use percentages to figure out federal, so we can figure out Social Security tax, Medicare, and state income tax. There are some others that were just told to us, okay? But we could figure out medical insurance because we talked about how to determine how much you're paying per paycheck for group health insurance. We know what gross pay is from the first unit, and we know that net pay is simply the gross pay minus taxes, how much tax you pay. Let's do one more example. I gotta switch my sheet here. Okay. So this is the same sort of thing. Cody Holmes's gross weekly salary is $750. So you know what? I'm going to put that in gross pay right now. $750. He's married and has a son and a daughter. That'll probably be important for FIT, federal income tax. The Social Security tax is 6.2%, like always. The Medicare tax is 1.45%, just like always. State tax is 2.5%. Each week he pays $11.75 for medical insurance. I'm going to write that in both places right now to save some time. $11.75, $11.75. And $15.50 for union dues. $15.50 for union dues. Fill in his earnings statement below. Again, we've already got 3 numbers filled in here. Let's start with federal withholding, federal income tax. It says he's married and has a son and a daughter. So I'm going to say he claims 2 allowances, okay? Because it's strictly, well, actually, we could say that he claims 2 because he's got 2 dependents, or you could make the assumption that since it's him, his wife, since he's married, and the son and daughter, that he claims 4. So depending on what the situation, maybe this question isn't quite clear. Let's go with 4 allowances. 4 allowances. In that case, I'm going to go to my table. I'm going to go to the married section. I'm going to go to the at least 750 but less than 760 row. And I'm going to go to the column for 4 allowances. My paper cooperates with me. Okay, there we go. 4 allowances of this column right here. I go down, and I see that he must be paying $30 in federal income tax. The Social Security, Medicare, and state tax calculations are very straightforward. Again, Social Security is 6.2%. Divide that by 100, we get 0.062. Multiplied by the gross pay, $750, means he's paying $46.50 in Social Security tax. Medicare is 1.45%. Divide by 100, multiply by $750. Notice that we have to round this. Since we have 3 decimal places, we round it to the second decimal place. The 5 is going to make that 7 round up to $10.88 for Medicare pay. And state tax is 2.5%. 0.025 times 750, $18.75 for state taxes. It doesn't say anything about local taxes, and it doesn't say anything about any other taxes. So we're going to cross both those off. The total deductions is just the sum of everything in this row, which is written right here for us. 30 plus $46.50 plus $10.88 plus $18.75 plus $11.75 plus $15.50. So our total deductions, $133.38. Again, that doesn't go anywhere on here. I need to find the net pay, and I find the net pay by subtracting the deductions from the gross pay. $750 minus $133.38 means that Cody Holmes ends up going home in his paycheck with $616.62. So are there kind of a lot of calculations here? Yes, but they're all calculations you've done before. Okay? Some things that I want to point out, just because these are errors that I've seen before. Sometimes I'll see people who say that the net pay is bigger than the gross pay. Well, that doesn't make sense. You can't take home more money than your gross pay after you take out taxes. So your net pay should always be less than your gross pay. I've also seen cases where people get the total deductions, the total of the taxes, to be somehow greater than $750. That also doesn't make sense, okay? I know no one likes to pay taxes, but no system is set up so that you pay more taxes than your paycheck is originally worth for in your gross pay. Okay, that wouldn't make sense either. That's pretty much it for looking at your statement of earnings. Okay, this is the toughest part of this unit, but it takes some practice. But once you understand what all these calculations are, it's just all the calculations we've been practicing since the beginning of the unit. If you have any questions, please let me know. Otherwise, I'll see you for our next unit, which is on budgeting. Bye.